everybody. Thanks for joining us on Painting. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Painting Happy Little Minis. I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Dave.
Hey,
And
Byron.
that's Leona
hey,
in the booth. What happened there?
Shh, it's fine. It's cool. Dave, I hope we see Cool Dave on the show today.
Unlikely.
One day we'll have Cool Dave. It'll be fine. It's good. He can't be Cool Dave all the time. That would take away from Cool Dave.
Yeah. You can't have light without the shadow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. There we go.
And it has to be timed perfectly. Cool Dave just doesn't come around every,
No.
blue moon.
No, he
That's
doesn't. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let's just keep beating that dead horse. I understand it. I'm not cool. Let's move on.
We love you.
I know. Thank you.
So today we're going to be painting some dragons from WizKids.
We are, which is going to be very cool.
Yeah. You have a bronze dragon?
Brass dragon.
Brass dragon. Close.
No, or a young copper dragon.
You have a metal dragon.
I do. Of the orange persuasion.
I got the coloration
That's fine.
right. There's several. It's good. It's focusing on mine. And I have a white dragon, but I'm gonna paint it like the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park because that's my favorite, and its face reminds me of it.
It does.
And
yeah.
I thought that would just be a cool color combination.
I think it's cool
on
how
dragon.
you mentioned the face as the butt was swinging by.
That good
And now that
Dilophosaurus booty.
the face is coming back around.
Yeah, it's good. It's
not
fine.
on the close cam. There we go. Yeah, check it out. I mean, it does look
It
just like
does, and it also kind of looks, I mentioned earlier after the fact that I had committed to this paint scheme, that it also kind of looks like a Skeksis face from The Dark Crystal.
Yep.
A little bit, which could be a cool idea. But for another time, because Dilophosaurus is cooler. We also have our Vallejo paints.
We do.
Yeah.
This episode actually is sponsored by Vallejo
And?
WizKids. So yes, Acrylicos Vallejo.
Oh, I like that it pops up.
Now we pour some paint over it.
It goes away. You don't get shenanigans with Vallejo.
No, we don't.
I do.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
But yeah, so it's very cool. We're very excited. Vallejo are going to be sponsoring one episode a month, I think, for the next year.
Yep.
And then for one episode a month as well for the next 6 months, we're going to be doing a Vallejo WizKids combo.
Combo.
So this is kind of the precursor to the. So next month in February we'll be doing the first of the WizKids OP organized paint.
Not overpowered.
Not overpowered. Not overpowered. Not organized play. Not the USAopoly, but OP organized paint sessions, I guess.
All right.
Which I think is super cool that WizKids are organizing that for your friendly local game store. So if you have a store that stocks WizKids and you want to get involved in the painting, organized painting stuff they're going to be doing, make sure that your store owner, store manager, person who orders stuff at your store talks to their rep at Alliance.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is people should go to their friendly local game store and be like,
I always take
do
that
this
as
stuff.
do the stuff. Do the stuff with the thing. I always take
Talk
that
to
as a
the
given that people should be going to their local game store.
All the time.
Yep. I went to mine on Saturday.
Ooh.
Yep. Just popped in very quickly and spent a couple $100 on new releases.
As you do. It's fun.
Yeah, I did. Yes. I got some. It was mostly
And
books. A little bit of GW. I got a Slaves to Darkness battle tome, so I can start a new army. I got some. I got Junith, who's one of the new Sisters of Battle models, who rides around on a battle pulpit, a flying battle pulpit, which is pretty cool. I got that. I got the rule book for Saga, and I got the expansion for Saga Age of Magic, so you can play the Saga games in like with fantasy models, and then and dice and a couple other things. Got some paints, got some glue.
So you had a little shopping splurge. You had a little me day. You had
I did. I totally had some retail therapy.
A treat yourself.
I did.
Moment.
Yeah, it was definitely good. My gaming group, we're just about to wrap up. Oh, actually, sorry, we just have wrapped up our Warcry gaming, and we're starting on some Saga Age of Magic, which is cool. And I'm going to make sure that as I'm building stuff for Saga Age of Magic, that I can use it for Age of Sigmar as well. A lot of ages.
A lot of ages. All the different ages.
All the different ages, for sure.
Through the ages.
Indeed. Indeed. But yeah, so that was me and my local game store. That's how we got into that incident. So,
Did you make any new friends?
Did I make any new friends?
Did you talk to people?
I must admit, it was very quick. I popped in.
Dave.
I'd sent in my order ahead of time and sort of ducked down, grabbed it, and ran out. But no, I said hi to Doug, who's one of the regulars, who's usually at the painting table. He was working on some Sisters of Battle. But it was it was like early in the day, so there weren't a lot of people there.
That's fair, I guess. I'll let you off the hook this time.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple of weeks ago we went in for Thor's Day.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's I can't remember if it's the first or the second Thursday night of the month. Mm-hmm. The stores, instead of closing at 9, it closes at midnight.
Oh, that's fun.
For Thor's Day. So there's always loads
like
and loads of stuff going on.
Paint store sleepover.
Almost.
Really fun.
Be a little bit chilly outside at the moment, like when they kick you out at midnight.
So what color are you using?
I am using one of my favorites from the Vallejo game color range, which is Tinny Tin. How about that? This is also one of Rick's favorite. So, definitely cool.
Rick's watching.
Rick is watching? Yeah. Fantastic.
From a friendly local game store.
He is. He's watching from, is it Greedy Goblin Games?
I don't know. Oh, no, he said he likes visiting local game Storia and then corrected himself and said stories.
Stories.
And I'm using, let's see, uniform green to start off with as a nice kind of neutral, not too light, not too dark color.
Yeah.
I have my phone over here that has my reference picture because even though I could probably get pretty close to Dilophosaurus on my own,
I expect you could.
I would like to have the reference there.
I think you could probably do it.
Can I show the reference? Yeah, I can show the reference. It's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. It's some of the new art, I believe. Yeah, so it's a little bit more detailed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what's on the frills here, and I'm going to put that on the other side, underside of the wings.
That's cool. Kind of like a... So it
So
goes back. That's my
So Dilophosaurus, if it were a dragon.
Right. That's cool. I like that.
I think the colors will transfer quite nicely, and it'll just look cool. Rule of cool.
Yeah. That's good.
I like having fun with my dragons. I also particularly enjoy painting dragons. Always a use for them.
Definitely. I think, how many dragons have we painted on the show?
Quite a few, because I have a few at home. Some of them aren't even fully finished at home. I just have them there, like, waiting. And I'm like, I'll get to that eventually. And that's a lie.
Yeah, it's going to sit there. Maybe we should do an episode where you just bring in all the miniatures
that I haven't finished. I have most of them, because they're from the show, are mostly finished. They're just not, like, the finishing touches aren't there.
Right. So like the basing or the...
The basing isn't done. I have a particularly large dragon that needs a little bit more attention. Right. But all, like, the base colors and some of the shading is done. And that was also... quite a few of them are from the very beginning of the show, whenever I had first started up, and I had zero experience painting minis.
Right. I think it's... do you like having those? Some of the first miniatures you painted? And
I do.
Comparing them to the ones you're painting now?
I do like having them. I think it's a good way to track progress. I'm a big fan of taking pictures and keeping track of like all the creative stuff you've done. And I, particularly with artwork, I have a ton of artwork, like from high school even, like horrible. But I think there's a point in time where you go from looking back on the older works that you've done, whether it's painting minis or other things, and you go from really disliking it, which I think is a universal artist thing.
Right.
You're like, oh, it's horrible. And you go from disliking it to kind of reevaluating your relationship with it.
Right.
And then end up kind of liking it. Like, as an adult, I can look back at some of the things I did in high school, and instead of instantly just like cringing and being like, I can be like, you know what? For a high schooler, like if I saw a different high schooler who was not me, you know, kind of doing this, then I definitely would be very proud of myself and of that, you know, hypothetical high schooler. And I think it brings a little bit of a better relationship to the artistic stuff you're doing.
Sure.
Because you can look back on it and kind of honestly be proud of your work rather than just being like, no, I could do better, I could do better, I could do better. Well, of course, you're improving all the time.
Yep.
Like, you'll always could do better.
Yep.
You know.
Exactly.
Kind of hitting that growth as an artist, I think, is important.
I think that's cool.
So I keep it. That's a fancy way for me to say I'm a pack rat.
Pack rat.
Yeah.
I'm a hoarder.
I never get rid of anything, and it's definitely for schmurmy emotional artist reasons, and not because I'm lazy.
So mine's totally because I'm lazy. But
Hey Sarah, hey 1-inch heroes.
excellent.
Kat says, yippee skippy dragons.
Yep. Some dragons. You're very cool.
1-inch heroes says they particularly enjoyed painting their blue dragon the last time they were here.
Oh, yep. Excellent. I think we've got a couple of sessions coming up, Drew, so if you're available. Not sure if Johnny's been in touch. But anyway, enough of the business.
Listen,
Sort of thing.
I have a real good reason for
like,
leaving the
"Let's talk
country.
business."
Okay.
Yeah, me too. But actually, as you were talking about the sort of the saving things and high school art and that kind of stuff, I remembered my mum still has a painting that I did in art in high school. I think it was probably like 9th or 10th grade, and it's terrible to start with.
I think we should bring in our high school art for the show.
Oh no, very, very little of mine.
I'm going to
still
contact
exists.
your mom. I'm going to be like, I want this.
Oh no, you don't want that.
Oh, I will.
But but it's one of those ones where you're given an assignment, and this particular one was you put a grid over a photo of yourself, and then you skew the grid on the canvas so that when you paint it, and you follow the grid, so you paint it, your face looks all wonky. Now, as I was doing it, it was like, okay, well, there was no sort of definition onto how far we had to skew things. And I was like, well, if I skew it too far, it's going to look super goofy. So I just skewed it a little bit.
So then it didn't look intentional anymore?
It didn't look intentional. It just looked goofy.
So now it looks really goofy.
It just looks poor.
I love
Looks
it.
terrible.
I love it so much.
So, and I think that was a lesson in being more confident. Go lean into the goofy.
We are painting. We're painting dragons from WizKids, the Dinosaur's Marvelous miniatures range, and I have a white dragon, which I'm definitely not painting white. And Dave has, what was it again?
The young copper dragon.
The young copper. I always want to say bronze.
Which I'm totally painting copper.
Yeah, that's definitely happening.
Yep. Well, I'm starting with Tinny Tin because this is a great sort of base coat. But yeah, all the paints we're using this week are from Vallejo, which is cool. It's nice that we now have a great selection of Vallejo paints here at the studio.
Yeah.
I still do bring in mine just in case.
Well, it's good
Came
you
across
did
that one
because then
colour.
you can get the red for me when I need it.
Right, yep. But yeah, I have really enjoyed using Vallejo paints for probably about 11 or 12 years
They're
now.
nice. I'm liking them. It's a nice, they're different from the contrast, but in a really good way. They go on really smooth and opaque, so I'm
Yep.
enjoying that a lot.
That's right, because most of the painting you've been doing has been with contrasts.
Yeah, because they remind me of watercolors, and that's my comfort zone.
Right. This is breaking you out from that a little bit.
And then, is it Blue Eyes White Dragon? You know, I should have done that. I should have done that. Next time I have a white dragon, I will make it a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
I don't get that. Is it?
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Duel you later over it.
Okay, that sounds fine. It's a pop culture reference I don't get.
It's not
surprise,
even,
surprise.
It's not even like today's pop culture. It's like 20 years ago pop culture.
Well, we all know I wasn't cool then either. So
And you could have been.
could have been.
And then you
I
would have
could
known
been
the
a
reference.
I could have been a contender.
Gosh, why didn't you play Yu-Gi-Oh as a young adult? I was about to say as a child. I was like, that's wrong.
Didn't exist as a child.
Um,
When I was a child. Back in the
back in the
days. Dark Ages.
They had other card games.
Sure. Not when I was a child though. Gin rummy.
I do like all
Snap.
of the.
Played the hell out of some Snap.
I do like all of the happy little comments about looking at earlier work. Kat says, when you're stuck on a frustrating project, it's good to look at some of your early work and realize how far you've come. It can help you crack on. And Dave says, I do like how looking at your old art can invoke a lot of memories. I have a treasure chest of all of the notes between me and my best friend in high school, which were drawn on. We sent little comics back and forth to each other.
Nice.
And it invokes memories.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like different kinds of memories, but they're my favorite. My favorite was one of hers, and it just has a picture of her. She was goth. She's still goth.
Right.
I was like Sunshine Child, and she was dark broody. But
Light and shadow.
exactly, that's why we're best friends. Works out perfect. But all it says is, oh, I wish I was a vampire. And she's tried to get me to delete all evidence of that.
Right.
But it's in a treasure chest.
Awesome.
To be saved forever.
You need to put in a time capsule.
That's pretty much what that
buried in
treasure
it.
chest is.
But I mean, like, bury it somewhere.
Future
That'd be cool.
generations should know.
Yep. Not to be open for 50 years. Should totally do that.
Over here, Rick says, did you get any of the Vallejo shift paints?
We did not get any of the shifters. For the moment, we're kicking off with the game, primarily game color. We've got a lot of that, and some of the model color range. I figure that over time, over this year, as we go through and work with the Vallejo range exclusively on those particular shows, we'll pick up some of the stuff that sort of falls outside the norm, like the shifter paints or the weathering paints, that kind of thing.
You just don't want me to have access to shiny paints.
I do. I do. I so totally want you to have access to shiny paints. I think you'll do wonderful things with them.
I will. Be amazing and sparkly.
And sparkly. I just figured for a dragon, though. It was,
Well, you have the shiny dragon, technically.
I do, but it's still, well, I like to call them like a natural metallic,
Yeah,
kind of.
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, moving right along.
Byron says, when is Leona going to paint?
I keep asking Leona that every week.
Leona, when are you going to paint?
Good question.
Leona's like, I like being a mysterious force.
When
A voice,
Yeah.
disembodied voice at the end of the line.
I am the great wizard.
Pay no attention to the
Wizard
lady behind the
Oz.
desk.
If I come out in front, the facade is gone.
It kind of
Right.
makes me think of that old meme, like who's driving the car? Like if Leona's over here, who's
That's true. That's actually very true.
Leona's 99% of everybody's impulse control.
Okay. Now, while I'm waiting for the tinny tin to fully dry on the copper dragon there, I picked up this thrycreen.
The
Cricket?
cricket man?
The cricket men.
I love the cricket people.
They are cool.
They're just a really neat design. I feel like it's very hard to design a character, an anthropomorphized bug character well. I feel like that is very difficult to do.
And turn it into something like a menacing miniature form.
Yeah.
It can definitely be tough. I think it's obviously a lot easier to do it if they're not menacing. Like, I'm thinking of the roly-poly bugs from...
That's really cute. Yeah. I'm just already thinking
I think
about
movie
the
is
Bug's Life. Yeah.
Yeah, A Bug's Life, that's it.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Adorable.
Adorable. Bugs are awesome.
Bugs except for spiders. I'm not fond of those.
Okay.
Those can stay wherever else.
Not
Anthropomorphized?
anthropomorphized. That's the word.
I think that's made up.
Ah, Rick
that
says
word is
they
made
are
up?
the Mantis Men from the old Dark Sun campaign setting.
Yep.
Mantis Men, Cricket Men, same thing.
Mantis cricket, yeah.
They're insects,
Yep.
bugs.
I like this one in particular because, so he's got the top two limbs are firing, or he's sort of lining up a shot with his bow, and then the center limbs have an axe ready for if you get too close. Yep.
That's nice. Short range and long range.
Yep. Very cool. Whereas this one, the top two limbs have the double-ended staff there, double-bladed staff, and basically like ninja stars in the lower limbs. So again, long range, short range. That's why they're such a menace.
I just honestly, whenever I thought they were still crickets, was thinking about like the ants and the cricket
All right.
folk tale. Like, oh, they don't look like they're just sitting around all day having a blast.
Nope. These ones are actually doing some work. But they do look
David
cool.
from YouTube has a good point about the shifter paints. What would you paint?
Right. I think this is one where I've said before that
I think cars is what you said before.
cars is what I've said, but plenty of people have suggested things like bugs, bug carapaces, bug wings.
Yeah. Anything that would have a naturally metallic kind of shift coloration to it like that. There's plenty of things in nature too. Because as much as I talk about sparkle and glitter and whatnot, I feel like in order to really use those paints, they'd work a lot better for accent work.
Yep.
So picking out jewelry, maybe, that would look really good for that. Using it on eyes for something that might have a little bit more of a magical vibe that you would need, or a
That's a cool
possessed vibe, maybe.
Magical shields.
Yeah, magical shields,
Cloaks.
cloaks. This
Yeah, I was thinking cloaks.
lady here has a little magical cloak, and I don't know if I'm supposed to.
We'll switch over.
There we go. So this lady here is a little dwarf druid, and she has a bunch of fine little bits and pieces on everything. She has a staff that could be magical, that could be used with it. All the little bits on her belt, or even if you wanted to use it to represent the magic itself, if you had like a color shift in a light blue or something that you wanted to help to paint the, what I'm going to assume is lightning, whatever the little, oh, sorry, Leona. All the magical bits. I think that really the sky's the limit with however creative you want to get with it. Because there's definitely ways to make it super, super like in your face, color shift, brah, with all the colors. And then there's ways to, kind of tone it down and use it to pick little pieces here and there out and make it really stand out.
Yep.
I would just look for references. Whether it's references with minis or references in different artworks or even in nature. Like,
Yep.
that's the long-winded explanation.
There's a
Good
good
point.
question
It
from
would.
YouTube. I mean, Facebook.
Facebook?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, Sarah. I just got a jar of the pinkest pink, but it's powder. What's the best medium to mix it with?
Ooh.
Does it have any directions on the pinkest pink?
It does, but it's printed in pink on pink,
Oh,
so it's a little tough to read.
wow. I would not have guessed that they would have done that.
I'm making that up.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
rude.
Yeah.
I was trusting. I was like, okay, Dave's got the pinkest pink. Okay. Mean. I would.
Me. Get the biggest
I don't
pink.
know what-
That sounds whimsical.
I haven't. I've never actually gotten pinkest pink to work with. So I haven't read the instructions for use. I had assumed it would come with instructions.
But I would think if it doesn't, and you want to take a risk, check out some of the. Actually, Vallejo makes some various like matte medium or gloss medium. Basically,
Yeah.
various mixing mediums.
And I'm pretty sure pinkest pink was supposed to be acrylic based, or
Yep.
used with acrylics.
I think so. Yeah.
I would double check on that just for like liability's
Just in
sake. But you should, if it's to be used with acrylics, you can pretty much mix it with anything. Then that is also acrylic.
Yep. Exactly. So yeah. So if you have a Vallejo rack at your local game store, check out the mediums there.
I want to see what you make with the pinkest pink.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be cool.
You also have to have a disclaimer that you're not Anish Kapoor when you post it to the group.
We know Sarah. She's not Anish Kapoor. Excellent. And now, I'll let that settle. So what I've done with these, the Thrycreen, on the card, it has kind of an orange kind of look to them. So I didn't want to start out with something an orange too bright. So I've started with, where did I put it? I lost it.
Wherever the brown is.
There it is. So red leather. That's one of my favorite ones. Pardon?
Big surprise.
Big surprise? Red leather? Yes. Leona has seen me use this before, several times. But it's I love this as a great base for rust and rusting effects and that kind of thing. And thin this down and run it over some silver, and it'll look like give it a kind of a rusty patina. So yeah, I've just gone for the base coat. I thinned it down a little bit so that I can still get a little bit of highlighting, a little bit of shadow in there, kind of straight up. And
Did you thin it down with water?
just thin it down with some water. Yep. Again, you could thin it down with things like the matte medium or the gloss medium, depending on what kind of finish you wanted. Using the mediums when you're thinning paints helps sort of maintain the integrity of the pigments and the way that they work together. Thinning it down with water, if you thin it down too much with water, you lose that paint-like consistency. Mm-hmm. So you just end up with a sort of a thin mess like that, which can work sometimes if you're just doing very thin glazes or thin spots, but still using mediums to mix your paints with will give you more consistent results, I guess. Okay.
Almost got all this green done.
I'm going to move my palette out of the way there for a sec and bring this guy back in.
Ooh, Sarah's also planning on getting the black 3.0 as well. We've talked about that on the show before because I got super excited about that.
Yep.
I just think it's
And I was
fun.
Debbie Downer about it again. Right?
I just
Yeah,
think
like
it's
everything
fun
else.
to paint with things that are different, and it's fun. It's out of the box.
It's true. It's whimsical.
It's whimsical. I'm just gonna get a
whimsical.
shirt that just says "full of whimsy."
And one for me that says lack of whimsy. With an arrow pointing straight to my head. Lacks whimsy.
No, I need
That
one.
was actually on my 4th grade report
What?
at the end of the year.
Is that? Are you for real or are you joshing?
I'm joshing.
Okay.
I'm being whimsical. There we go. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about dry brushing. I think, is it this month? Is it February? No.
It's not
Janu-
February yet. It's
No,
January.
sorry. I think is it the January or the February issue of Game Trade Media, Game Trade Magazine, sorry, that has, I have an article on dry brushing in it. I can't remember if it was January or February.
I don't know.
But
I
yeah,
think it's February
I think it is February.
because I think January was basing.
Layering?
Yeah.
It might have been
Base
layering.
coating.
All I know is I can't
One
wait
of
to
those
dry
two.
brush on some of this because I'm gonna get some nice gator-looking scales going down there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Okay, so for the copper dragon here, I've got some hammered copper from the Game Color range, which is another color I really like. I love using this as a base for gold and using the glorious gold over the top of it. But yeah, hammered copper is a great one. And I'm just going to, you can see I've got some paint on the end of the brush, on the end of the dry brush. Brush a lot of it off, and then just move it back and forth over the texture. Dry brushing is great for textured surfaces, like this wing and these scales. It's not particularly good for large flat surfaces because it can leave streaks across it. If you're going for a smooth result, you don't want to be doing dry brushing. But with this, because we're looking for a just to catch the paint to catch on the top sort of surfaces there, this is a perfect perfect technique.
Ooh, apparently there's a silver too. The most silver.
Most silver. See, I'd be down for that. Silver's always an interesting one, I think. I'd like to experiment with that one.
There we go. We'll have an episode where I experiment with pinkest pink and you experiment with whatever the most silver one's called.
Silveriest silver?
I guess so. I was just guessing on that.
I'll be disappointed if it's not. Unless it's like
Chasing
super awesome silver.
In
or
the
something
car, heading to work and enjoying the stream. Don't worry, I'm in the passenger seat.
Cool.
I was worried.
Could you imagine like sitting there in like traffic stop and you just see someone just, and it's like us.
Right. That would be funny. But I will admit, when I say funny, I mean terrifying. Right. Because this morning when I was dropping my daughters off at school, we're driving along and in the car in front of us, somebody had their phone was up on the, like, up connected to a little thing on the windscreen
Yeah.
so that they could usually see it, use it for
Directions.
directions.
Like a normal sane person.
Well, this time, they were watching cartoons. I don't know what show they were watching because it was just far enough away for me not to be able to make it out. But,
Okay. Oh, you know, sometimes you just get an urge for early morning cartoons. Were they at least having cereal?
They may have also been eating cereal, but no, I'm just kidding. I say they may have because I didn't actually see
Leona's
see
like,
them or what
I'm
they were
ready to
doing.
call the police.
I am.
I would have, but I'm not allowed to use my phone.
True.
Couldn't use my phone to
Hands-free,
pull
Dave.
Hands free, I know.
Safety first.
But I was a little bit terrified, so I slowed down. I let them get ahead.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I
Far,
do that
far
too.
away.
When I just don't want to deal with people that are driving horribly, I'm like, no, just go
Back off.
on. Go on without me, pal.
Yep. Okay. So
Dave on YouTube says Tinny Tin makes everything better, which is true.
Yep. Absolutely true there, Dave. And Kat, yes, Tinny Tin is a fantastic one. It's awesome coverage as well. So normally for metallics, I'd paint black first, or I'd like spray black, or I'd paint, if I'm doing metallics at the end of a model, I'll go back and paint all of those areas that are going to be metallic, paint them black first to give that depth. But the Tinny Tin has that depth, and you really don't need to paint things black beforehand, as you can see on this model that started out with the Vallejo primer on it, a pre-primed mini.
Almost all green.
Almost all copper.
Oh,
But yeah.
just keep painting. Just keep painting. Eventually, I will have a full base color of green so that I can have my Dilophosaurus dragon. Do you think I'll manage to complete the dragon in time?
I think you will. I have faith.
If it?
I have faith. The dragon, yes, maybe not the base, but certainly the dragon.
I feel like once I get all the basic colors and shading and whatnot, it's just the small details, and that'll be fairly quick.
Yeah.
And organic. I feel like that speeds things up. You're not as...
Yeah. One of the things that I really like about the Nolz's Marvelous Miniature Dragon sculpts is on the arms and the legs, the musculature
Oh, yeah.
kind of thing. That it gives you a real sense of, like, these are really
There's a weightiness.
solid, brutish kind of.
Well, and even like
things.
yours is more of a chunky fellow, even
Oh,
though
yeah.
he's young. You can tell that he's gonna,
He is a young, chunky boy.
yes, he's gonna grow up to be a big chunky boy.
Yep.
Whereas with mine, he has a lot of lean muscle.
Yep.
But it all sits in a really realistic manner too. Like it looks like they got together like dogs or stuff as reference.
Yeah. This has got
Definitely
has a like a bulldog,
Yeah.
or not a bulldog, like a pit bull kind of
Yes. Chunky.
stance. Yeah. See, there we go. Look at that.
Byron goes, I thought Dave was dry brushing with a red leather.
Oh no, not dry brushing with the red leather. I moved my palette out. Actually, they do look similar.
Oh, yeah.
So, but no, for this first dry brush layer, I just used the hammered copper. Bing. And I'm going to just because I want a little bit more, a little bit of a higher highlight, a little bit more contrast, I guess, is what I'm looking for there. I'm going to add a little bit of brassy brass to it. So there we go. One of the things that we forgot to mention beforehand when we were talking about when I was rabbiting on about it, really, the organized paint thing for that WizKids are going to be doing. The cool thing about it, the extra cool thing about it is that there's going to be we're going to have a limited palette.
Ooh, that's always fun.
So it's going to be, here you go, here are the paints that you're going to be using, and if you use them and you use them in a particular prescribed style, you will get a miniature that looks like, I think which one are we doing in February? Is it going to be the owlbear?
I believe
Yes.
it's an
The first one?
owlbear.
Yes.
So we'd get one that looks like the WizKids.
That's such a
painted
good
version
idea
of the
because
owlbear.
it really, whether you've been painting for a really long time or whether you're new at it, it shows you different techniques that you might not have thought of before, or it just gives you a really good learning opportunity.
Yep. Indeed. But I think it'll be one where at the beginning of the show, you and I will decide who gets to deviate from the
That's
path.
fun.
So one of us will do it to the sort of the prescribed method, and one will do it to their own.
The beat of their own drum.
Yeah. Which is something that I did at PAX Unplugged when I painted with Jason from Realmsmith. There was WizKids Minis, we did a shambling mound, and we had like a prescribed, like 9 paints from the Vallejo range to use. And basically Jason was teaching everybody that basically ended with a very dark, swampy looking kind of thing. And mine ended up much brighter and a bit more of a bok choy, kind of rotting bok choy kind of color.
That's always really fun, though. To
Rotting
just
bok
see,
choy?
to see what different things people come up with. Yes, bok choy. I am a sucker for bok choy.
I hate cleaning the rotting bok choy out of the vegetable crisper. Vegetable crisper. There's a complete misnomer.
Oh my
anyway,
goodness.
Keep going.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Which one?
Sarah says, are you going to add any Verdigris, Dave?
Yeah, I will add a little bit. That's basically Verdigris, the patina that copper gets, copper and brass and bronze. So
I've done that before on mine. I've added that.
Because this guy is a young copper dragon.
He's not patinaed. He's not weathered.
He's not hugely weathered, but I will put some in, probably around around his face to give it a little bit of a standout, and in around his shoulders. I think will be a good places for that. But yeah, I don't know if we can quite see that coming up on the. Just got some extra depth there. I might pop. Pardon? You can see it? Yeah. I'm popping him on the spinner in a minute, and so you'll be able to see the difference between the underside of the wings that I haven't put the brassy brass on yet, and the top side. Okay, so I'm going to switch him to the spinner, and there we go. I got paint all over my fingers now. That happens with dry brushing.
Oh, yeah. I always get
Really
covered
messy.
in paint as I go along.
Okay, so yeah, there we go.
Beautiful.
Oh, of course he decides to fall.
Well, he's young. He hasn't gotten his
Yep. You can see that-
abilities, dragon abilities.
Dragon abilities. His stability abilities.
Yeah.
You can see on the inside of these parts of the wings here have the brassy brass on them, and the underside don't.
Uh-huh.
So there's just that little extra.
David goes, does Vallejo have a gloss verdigris, or are you going to use a matte to contrast the metal?
Definitely I'm going to go with a matte. So I'm going to steal that. I'm probably going to mess around with, just looking at what we've got here green-wise. I'm not sure that on the table we've got one that I'd use, but I've got a couple in the, hopefully I have a couple in my box there to mess around with. But
These
one of my
aren't really patina greens.
yeah. But the one that I like is the United States Marine Corps Tank Crew paint. Is great for a patina on brasses and coppers and that kind of thing.
I think nope, that's just uniform green.
There's a U.S. dark green
German
there.
uniform green. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely very good for that kind of thing. So
Let's look at some minis.
oh yeah, let's have a look at some minis. After I just say
Minis.
Vallejo game color, brassy brass is what I'm dry brushing at the moment. Minis. Okay. Oh, cool. David Moffat. Oh, yes. Cool. This is the one that Dave painted last week.
This is the one we told him to paint?
This is one I went the random selection. Just one. So Dave painted this in about an hour and 10 minutes, maybe an hour.
Yeah, it would be a
guess.
speed painting with us.
Yeah. So great job, David. Yep. Looks
It's not
amazing.
easy to paint as quickly as we do.
But yeah, no, great work. I love the love that sort of reddish pink on the clothing, and then all of the browns for that leather work.
Very nice.
Yeah, very cool. Nice work, Dave. Oh, Jeff Purcell, the seafoam horse.
Ooh,
It does
that's
have
some nice
that,
color work. Very, very smooth gradient.
Yeah, yeah. I like the like that. The going from the I guess the depth of an ocean kind of bluish greenish, slight tinge there, up through to that foam caps kind of thing. But nice work, Jeff. Looks great. Oh, Michael has been painting the town merchant, the Pathfinder Battles WizKids range.
Has that hand outstretched for that coin.
Yep. Have you painted that one, or did I paint that one?
I did not paint that one.
Okay. I painted it? Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's looking really nice there, Michael. He's got it's opulent without sort of being over the top. It's still got a nice sort of sensible look. But yeah, definitely cool. Nice work. Jody has painted up a Pathfinder 2 campaign mini. Is this a half orc rogue?
I like his pose.
I think so.
Yeah. I like the work on the like the quilted armor. It's very cool. And just that he hasn't tried to push too much light up underneath the hood.
Yeah,
which
so you
is
get
cool.
that nice, mysterious kind of vibe going.
Yeah. And just that huge jaw. And half orc jaw. But yeah, looking very cool, Jody. Looks great. Oh, Sean, Nathaniel and Gregory, the two-headed giant. I like that they both have a name.
Well, yeah,
Each head
because
has a
they're
name.
two different brains.
This is true.
Yeah,
Well,
Leona.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Have
so
you
sure.
you've seen there are people who have two heads in real life, and they're each two different entities.
Yeah, but this is also a giant. Thank you. That's where I was going with that. It was nothing to do with them being two different brains, but just that giant, which are. I'm being terrible here. I'm labeling this giant as.
He could
It's a
be
bit-
so
a bit-
smart.
a bit
He
dumb.
could know calculus.
It's quite possible. Quite possible.
If that giant knew calculus, he'd be smarter than me.
He knows exactly the sort of arc that he needs to swing with that club that has a. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I just noticed it.
Yeah.
That club has an anvil attached to it. But no, great work, Sean. I think it's very
Swole in
cool.
body and in mind.
Yeah. Yep. No, I love the work you've done on the ropes on the club, but also the putting the getting stuck in there and doing some work on the shield. A little bit of heraldry. That's the word I'm looking for. I was grasping for that. What's that word? Heraldry. A little bit of heraldry on the shield. So.
I feel like with the colors on the shield, it definitely looks like something that was stolen from someone.
Oh yeah, definitely. This giant does not have a coat of arms.
No.
Oh,
Ooh.
no, very nice. Caleb from
Nice
Critical
glowy
Role.
effect.
Yeah. Definitely neat. I think so. I think Dave started with the black base here, and then painted sort of a wide strip either side of the lines, and then a brighter strip either side,
Kind of
and
get that
then
neon effect.
then right down and then painted that final line, the nice bright orange. And you see where the lines intersect? It's got that little yellow point
Oh, those little, yeah.
for that extra zzz. Yep, extra pop. I think it definitely looks neat. Nice work, Dave. Looks great. David Moffat suggests that Nathaniel is a math wizard and Gregory is the thespian.
I love that so much.
They have a side job as brigands to help make ends meet when the work is slow. Fantastic. Nice one. So when Gregory's on stage, does Nathaniel have to cover his head?
Just a mask.
Yep. Or does he pretend to be like a parrot? If Gregory's playing a pirate. Sorry, anyway, keep going.
So there's a creepy spider person,
Hang on.
not my friend.
Met Rick yesterday. We saw this last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was Sarah's Drider.
sorry.
When she met Rick. When Rick was rolling America. Did we see this last week?
Did you?
I don't remember a spider. I feel like I would have remembered a spider.
The Drider? It was a slightly different angle, I think. It was from the front. We were seeing it from the front. Sorry, Sarah, but I'm pretty sure we saw it last week. Unless I'm going crazy, but let's just move ahead as if we haven't seen those. But
Yeah.
okay.
Do you want to talk about it at all?
But yeah, no, I like the colors they've chosen and like going for something different, not the sort of the standard black carapace or brown carapace.
I like little bits of green in between
legs.
all of the joints.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's definitely different, but in like a really good way.
Yep.
It kind of almost looks like it's magically put together or influenced.
Right. Yep. I'd agree. That looks neat. So Andrew painted up this crazy insect beast, anthropomorphized insect. The legs are very similar to the thrycrene.
Well, there's only so much you can do with
It's a little bit different.
anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
Anthropomorphic. You gave it to me. Now I can't pronounce anything.
Anything? Just that word. Just the anthropomorphic word. But yeah, no, I like the the purple is the overall feel across it all. But
Yeah.
there's enough different treatments of the purple on there to give it that great variety and depth.
And I feel like the purple makes it feel very almost alien.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very definitely. But no, it looks great, Andrew. Purple's a super tough one to work with, but you've done a great job. Ryan from the board game Heat. Heat. Check out the skull and sort of
I like that
backbone.
sword.
The sword is
The
very
ribcage on
cool.
the sword, yeah. But I like the that skin color as well.
That kind of yellow.
Kind of the ochre kind of feel.
Yeah.
So I was sort of looking at it. It's like, is that like an ogre with the yellow skin, or is it an ogre with ochre paint applied?
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? It's I think it works really well. I like it, and having it against like the black of the hair coming down each side.
Yeah.
That black and the metal on the gauntlet and that kind of thing has a bit of a cool kind of feel. So it's working well against that yellow. Looks great, Ryan. Nice work. Oh, cool.
Doop, doop, doop. Ooh,
Let's
that
do
looks
some,
really cool.
Yeah, some. Pardon?
Monster Apocalypse.
Yep, Monpoc. Monster Apocalypse from Privateer Press. I can't remember. We did some work on one of these as well, but I can't remember this creature's name. But I like that you've given it that. It's got that alien from beyond the
yeah.
void kind of feel.
And that almost looks like it's done in shift paints without being done in shift paints.
Yep.
Like the way the shines are just done on it.
Exactly. And that little that splatter of. Did you do that with a toothbrush? This is really tough. I know I can regularly get it with an airbrush
Yeah.
when I'm not wearing my hat
I usually
backwards.
just
But yeah, I think you can get something more regular with like flicking a toothbrush. But no, I think that's given a great effect. Nice work, Dennis. Excellent. Ooh, that's all for now. I'll get back to this.
Now I'm dry brushing a little bit.
Cool.
I just added a little bit of white to the green
Okay.
and very subtle, not too crazy because I want to get in there with the darker green, but to
Right.
make it pop a little bit whenever I do add those stripes.
Yeah. Cool. I'm just going to add a little bit of where did I put it? A little bit of silver from the Game Color range. So this is really bright, very bright silver.
Don't worry about it.
Let's not worry about it. Okay. Cool. A little bit of bright silver. Just adding some of that to the brassy brass for some very final sort of dry brush highlights. Let's thin that down a little bit. And this will just be to catch the leading edges of the wings. And again, just increases that sense of depth. And if you really wanted to take that, the contrast idea a little bit further, you can could do some shading in around these areas of the wings with some black wash. So, but I'm not going to worry about that today.
Kat says to use an eyebrow brush.
Oh, like a little
Oh,
eyebrow
for speckling?
spoolie?
That's a good idea. She said smaller and stiffer. Yep. David Moff says, I remember Sarah's Drider like it was last Thursday. Runestorm said, I wanted to use some bold colors on the mini, but still make them look natural, like natural clothing, normal clothing. Yep. So I think that's for the referencing the merchant. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I think you did a great job on that, Runestorm, for sure. Okay. So just have a quick rummage in my box of...
It's like a rummage. Could you rummage up
These
a
be,
little bit of red for me?
Sure.
If you have an orangey red, the better. That's perfect, actually. First try, you just
Bingo. I got
instantaneously.
some orange for my Thri-Kreen, and it's in here, I think.
I don't know why I'm paying such attention to the scaling on his chest when I'm just going to be using more cream over that. But
Okay, I don't have the color that I'm looking for. It's a bit of a shame, unless that's it. I like doing this up near the microphone because it annoys Leona. There it is. Hooray.
A little bit of ASMR.
Yes. Okay, so I mentioned the United States Marine Corps tank crew color, and that's this one. You can just make out the thing there. But this is a great one for Verdigris. And actually, I'm also going to put a little bit of the German uniform green on my palette. And you can see that there. It's a nice sort of desaturated bluish green. And that one's quite a lot brighter. So, getting my brush. Now I'm just going to thin down this one first, the German very green, and try something around. So this is just messing around to create some, like a little bit of a verdigris effect. If this was a, like an older copper dragon, like a venerable copper dragon, or whatever they might be called. I just realized I didn't actually know the correct word for it, but I like to use the word venerable. Then, rather than using a lot of the coppers and brasses there that we have used, I probably would have started with a black and dry brush the tinny tin onto it. Because when copper oxidizes, it goes that dark brown first, and then gets a little bit more of the verdigris patina. You can see here, and just painting it into the shadows. There are some things that I've read that basically say that like verdigris actually sort of starts on the higher surfaces.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
then
you're most exposed
moves
to
down.
like the elements, so I
Yep.
guess that works.
Yep, it certainly makes sense. But from a miniature sort of painting point of view, it doesn't work particularly well. It kind of starts to flatten the model out. So I like to cheat logic and science and physics and start putting my verdigris in the sort of recesses. So you get that kind of kind of look there. I think I'm also going to put some up underneath his face there. Up underneath these spots. One of the fun things working with a model that has all of these claws and talons on it, when I rest it on my palette,
Oh,
just
oh
puncturing
that's funny.
my paper. But yeah, this is a nice one. I actually haven't worked with this with the German. Which was it? Yeah, the German uniform color before.
Getting out of your comfort
said-
zone.
Ancient.
Ancient.
Say
Ancient, not venerable, ancient. Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, but yeah, I would definitely go with a lot of verdigris on the ancient, on an ancient copper dragon.
Have it looking like the Statue of Liberty.
Yep, exactly. That would be the way to go. How's it going?
I'm getting his, I have a little bit of dry brushing to just pull out some of those so that whenever I do the stripes with the
Yep.
dark green, it kind of goes. And I'll probably wash everything with a brown as well just to
Okay.
kind of muddle it up a little bit because looking at the coloration here, it's a little bit more of a brown, green, olive kind of deal. And then I am getting the cream underside done,
Cool.
and then I will move on to adding cream on the inside of the wings, and then yellow, and then stripes, and then brown along the edges of everything.
Okay. Cool. And you're using the red for that patterning.
Yes, that patterning on the inside is going to use the red, but that's probably going to be one of the last things I do.
Right.
So right now I'm going with off-white, and I am kind of, I'll probably end up having a little bit more saturated version,
Okay.
or we'll find out. After I add that brown, who knows?
It's just inspired by it. It's not a slavish representation
yes,
of. Yeah. That's cool.
Given what I have.
Okay. I think maybe I'll put a little bit of this in the wings here. I suspect this might be another place where sort of moisture would gather. Be a little bit sweaty under the pits there. I think brass
He's a
dragons sweat.
teenager.
Yeah,
He is a teenage dragon.
teenage dragon.
So
It's going to kind of be stinky.
I don't know about dragon puberty enough to answer that question.
Okay. Gretchen, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is research dragon puberty.
Dragon biologist. That would be a fun
Okay,
job.
so rightio. So the next thing, so I think we can see here on the camera where I put some more down under the things there, and under the wings there. I don't want to put too much on because it will start to look like a statue, which will then be odd for it to be flying, using the flying stand. Odd flying statue. I suppose it is D&D, where so many things can happen. Only limited by your imagination.
Just imagine you playing D&D, be like, a flying statue.
It's not a statue. I think not.
Start calling out the DM. I draw the line at a flying statue.
Worst adventure ever.
Not real at all.
Man, you said I was going to have to suspend disbelief, but this is just pushing it too far. So there we go. See, almost without sort of any effort there, that the United States Marine Corps, the USMC tank crew green just works perfectly. If you really wanted to push it further, you can just add some white in. So, a little lower, sorry. It's a big mini and the camera is close. There we go. If you're doing a whole bunch of sort of brass work or copper work, that kind of thing, you probably skip that first layer, and then just make a wash out of the tank crew green. Slap it on, but we'll get a little bit of extra time. Actually, it's kind of funny. It's starting to get a bit of a magical feel, that magical glow.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I think this is working nicely. So when we do get to the owlbear, the organized paint thing, which way do you think you'd like to go? The out of the box, or remembering that would have the same colors, you wouldn't have any extra colors to work with.
That sounds like a fun challenge.
I knew you'd say that. I knew it. Knew it.
On my Twitter at this exact moment, I just told people, I haven't painted a painting in a while. Name some colors and that'll be my palette.
Awesome.
I'm worried, but
Yeah.
the last time I checked, there was only one color up and it was maroon. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get lucky and no one will put any colors up. I'll just do a full maroon piece. That sounds about right. I say that and now there's probably going to be like, I said it was the first 3 or 5 colors, depending on if, I even get 3 people.
Right.
But yeah, that sounds fun.
That could be cool. That's a good idea. There's a guy who's got a YouTube channel called Goobertown Hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
I love them.
Yep. He's just got he has a particular voice.
Yeah.
Which is very. I don't know where like his cadence is from. He has a particular cadence, but it's one that you've heard before on I don't know where, but yeah, he does. I think it's Brent. For some reason, I think his name's Brent. But he does challenges where he has like almost like a treasure chest full of brown paper bags, and each brown paper bag has a miniature in it that he's assembled and primed previously, and it's just sort of randomly in this chest. He doesn't know what's what when he's drawing out a mini, and then he rolls dice or draws cards or that kind of thing.
That's
to find out, like, to get a main color, to get a background story for the model, so that you can then work out and just sort of relax and paint something that doesn't have any impact on a game or whatever, and just have fun painting.
I like that.
Which is a really neat idea.
It's a good way to have no real worries as you work on different skill sets.
Yeah.
Because it forces you to think outside of the box, but it's also, like, I feel like it takes a lot of the pressure off, too. You're like, this is just for fun, so it's...
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So a lot of this dry brushing is going to get that textured, weird, semi-dappled kind of vibe going on before I add all that red. And I'm trying to get it in a way that resembles my good old Dilophosaurus gals. Because remember, all the Jurassic Park dinosaurs are female, except for like the random few.
Okay.
Except for the ones that aren't.
The ones that are like guys?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, to be fair, they just kind of do their own thing.
This is true. I'm going to pop this on the spinner for a little bit. Sorry, checking in the YouTube chat. Kat says, that box drives me nuts. Going to get you a nice section box. See all the paints without rummaging. She said it makes her eye twitch and her head start shaking. I know, it's completely unprofessional. I'm terrible. But, yes. David Moffat said gargoyles are completely understandable. Not flying statues, gargoyles. Unless the flying statue was thrown by Nathaniel and Gregory.
Yeah, so texture this up all real good, and then once I have everything, all the like blocks of color done, and I start doing all the details, the outlines and edges all around here will have that kind of burnt dark brown going on.
Okay, cool.
Which I feel like will really make everything kind of flow and pop a lot better.
Right.
So, what color are you using now, Gretchen?
I am using sun yellow. But in this case, it's for a Dilophosaurus.
They don't make a specific Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus. If they did make a specific color to the Dilophosaurus, particularly like the JP version, not the real thing, because those are different.
Right.
It would definitely be like an ink.
Right.
To do like the spitting.
Oh, right.
Stuff.
Okay.
It'd be like, this is Dilophosaurus, ink black ink. I'm not naming the colors, but
Okay.
I'm just inspiring them, obviously.
Excellent.
There should be a line of Jurassic Park colors. It would be like, this is blood red.
Yep.
This is more blood red.
More blood red.
This-
What are you using? You're using bloody red.
yeah, I am.
Or
That's
rojo
fitting.
sanguina. Sanguina? Sanguina?
Sanguina.
Sanguina. Okay. Cool. I got it right. Hooray! My Spanish is not as terrible as I thought.
My Spanish isn't awful, but I get really embarrassed speaking it because I can't roll my R's. So I'm just like,
Rojo.
oh, Brontosaurus blue. That would be cute. That would be really cute. That'd be like a gray blue.
What was that movie? Is that the Land Before Time or?
Oh, where it's like purple and gray blue. Land Before Time is it? Yeah.
Right.
I used to watch that as a kid all the time. My dinosaur obsession was not limited to just
To Jurassic
Jurassic
Park?
Park. Yeah.
Right. Excellent.
I loved Barney. Not as much as Jurassic Park, but
Yeah.
enough.
Okay. And now I'm going to get some off-white there. There we go.
Pterodactyl turquoise. These are all such good ideas.
Definitely.
Triceratops taupe.
Ah, you guys are good.
I like it.
How about Brontosaurus brown?
Fair. Not quite as good as Brontosaurus blue.
No. I was just saying because which one is no longer?
Pterodactyl purple.
Which one's no longer? There's one that's no longer a
Brachiosaurus?
thing.
Brachiosaurus?
Is it Brachiosaurus?
A Brontosaurus might now be a Brachiosaurus. There's the Brachiosaurus, Brontosaurus, and Apatosaurus, and those are all there's a lot of different weird things going on with sauropods right now.
Right. Right now, like immediately.
Right now.
This moment.
Well, yeah, so like...
I'm going to suggest that there's not a lot going on with them. For some people, I'm certain that it's like their life right now, but...
Listen, the world of paleontology is...
It's all a buzz.
Yeah.
It's all the Twitter.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's a good time. Okay.
It's all a roar.
A roll.
So,
This is why I adore you. You're like, you know what Gretchen needs today? Gretchen needs puns. And you were right. You were so right. Doing a little bit of the yellow dry brushing just to make it look like it has a little bit of extra color.
Painting Happy Little Puns.
I'd
Happy
watch
Little
that
Puns?
show. I'm
Watch
in
it.
that
You're
show.
on it.
I was going to say, we're live.
Let's see.
Okay,
That has a little
so-
bit of orangey bits there. So I'm going to do the stripes next, I think, is going to be the way to
Next
go.
part. Okay.
Was that judgment? What do you,
No, no,
what do
no,
you
no,
prefer?
not at all. No, it sounds fine. Totally go for the stripes. I was going to say, so for the mouth here, I'll turn it around, there we go. The mouth, I painted it with black, which is the cunningly titled black from the game color range. So I painted that as an interior, then some, where'd I put it? Did I put it back? Burnt red for the base color on the tongue. Ooh. See if we can get some more light on that tongue. And then highlighted the tongue with some bloody red. And the teeth were bone white. So I think I'm actually going to leave him there before I do too much else to him and break him. Oh. He's going in it. There we go. Assembled. I always like it when it's a nice sort of easy task. And dry brushing an entire model is definitely cool. So back to the thrycrenes is the way to go now. There we go. I'm going to use some of the orange fire. There's a much brighter orange to highlight that carapace that they've got there. And also I'll be able to first up see the little spots of white in here that I missed when I was painting on the red leather first. So,
Bye,
back around there.
Cat.
Oh.
Cat had to go.
Catch you later, Cat. Have a good one. Excellent. So there we go. We've got all those things. But yeah, I was going to ask you, did you get a chance to go back to the haunted house?
To the haunted? Oh,
No,
you mean
sorry,
to
not the
my-
haunted
my
house.
friend's
Your
house?
friend's house.
No,
with the,
I have not had a chance to go back to my friend's house, though they did watch the
Bye,
episode.
David.
What?
Oh, bye, David.
No. Leaving
Bye.
us. No, I haven't had a chance to go back to help out yet. But yeah, they did watch the show to see what I had to say about it.
Right.
They said that they had a hard time at 1 a.m. when I am at my most funny and powerful, mind you.
Yep.
They had a hard time being quiet. They were laughing so hard.
Okay. I'm glad. For a second there, I thought you were going to say they had a hard time understanding my Australian accent.
No.
No, that's good. I was like I said, just fast forwarded through the bits that I was talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
That
did
makes sense,
fast
too.
forward a little bit.
That's cool. Well, last Saturday I got to go and watch my daughter in the last robotics meet of the year,
Oh,
which is pretty cool.
that's fun.
Her team, her robot, made it through to the playoffs, but unfortunately they were knocked out after the first round of the playoffs. But she was pretty stoked, which is great. I think when she started the robotics thing at school, she wasn't particularly keen on it.
Yeah.
Like after the first 1 or 2 meets, she was like, I don't want to do this anymore. We're like, oh, you're part of the team, you got to stick with it. And then the last 2 meets, she's been great, had a lot of fun.
Life lessons.
Yeah. Learning about teams, working together, that kind of thing. That lesson.
That lesson, yeah.
Or the got to do what your parents tell you.
Yeah, That's a lesson.
That one too. It's in there. It's all rolled up together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. So many lessons. All the lessons.
All the life lessons.
All at once. So these thrycreen. Where did I put the thing? Oh yeah. I was wondering what color their eyes would be.
What color are their eyes?
Big, bright, green, glowing eyes. Check it out.
Excellent.
Green. And it just happens to be the same green as I have on the palette.
That's a coinkydink.
It is. Locked into that. So, it's a little bit of highlighting. All good. These, I really like the game color range from Vallejo because of almost all the paints have got a really saturated.
Yeah.
A very, very strong sort of saturation level. And they work really well as well with the model color. The model color range doesn't have as many saturated colors in it. It's got a lot of very different tones though. This is one that I think we're going to have fun using in the future. The Salmon Rose. It's just got like a nice level of pink, nice sort of undertone of pink in there, which is cool. Oh, is this it? Oh, yep. We did get some. We got some charred brown as well. Hooray! Super excited.
Yeah, the charred brown's going to go on the edges.
Oh, that's what you're using along the edge?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I think it'll do. It kind of looks like black in the picture, but I think that is going to be too much of a kind of too strongly of a contrast.
Too strong a contrast, right? Okay.
Yeah. Whereas the brown can get very dark without.
Yeah. Well, that brown's got the charred brown's got like a purplish tinge in there. So that's going to work well against the green, I think. The green and the yellow. So, definitely cool. I think, do we have some more photos from the group? Leona was having fun watching.
We are entertaining.
Oh yeah, yep, fantastic.
Ooh.
Ryan, finally finished my hill giant. Now when I saw this on the page, there are a couple other photos that Ryan had on there as well, and there's so much sort of exposed flesh on that model. And it's done such a fantastic job of pushing different tones in there as well. So it's got that little bit of yellowish, a little bit of that sort of rusty red kind of depth in there. But yeah, it just looks fantastic, and the basin job is really nice as well. But yeah, great looking hill giant. Hope that's going to definitely smash some adventurers at some stage. Looks good. Sorry, just before I talk about Gavin's things, somebody mentioned in the chat that the thrycreen throwing stars are called, what are they called? Tchotchkes?
Tchotchkes?
Tchotchkes? Is that like tchotchkes? I don't think so. But cool, tchotchkes. There we go. So this guy here has tchotchkes. Back to Gavin's stuff. Oh, he's got his Kings of War dwarf army finished. I think they're looking very cool.
Very nice.
They got a very sturdy, sort of dark iron armor kind of feel. And those shields at the front of them look great. One of the cool things with Kings of War is that the units are particular sizes. So it might be 10 models, 20 models, 30 models, that kind of thing. But they have a footprint. So for each of the units. So I think this one's probably looks like a 20 model unit. But so the important thing in the game is, in the game mechanics, is the size of that unit base.
Yeah.
So you can actually create little dioramas on the board. It doesn't just have to
That's
be
cool.
like 20 guys ranked up 4x5 kind of thing. And so, like you can see here on Gavin's base, they're sort of crowded towards the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives him some extra depth and a bit of sort of a dynamic look going on behind that shield wall. But looking very nice, Gavin. Good work. Oh, Jason
Ooh.
painted up this slaughter demon. I saw this. I asked about it as well because the way that sort of the teeth on the shoulder pads there makes it look like the head is about to be swallowed.
It is like a whole nother mouth.
Yep, it's kind of frightening. But this is from Creature Caster. The model from them, and it looks great. And if you see you can see the skulls on the base. Gives you an idea of the sort of the scale of that model. It's huge. It's probably going to be like this tall. But no, nice paintwork as well, Jason. Those sort of bony plates really work. Look great. Josh has been painting up a fallen Asima.
Ooh.
So this looks great too.
That almost looks like tar on the back of the wings. It's a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit
the
of
top.
shininess.
Yeah,
at the very
yeah.
top where it's black. Like it's gone past the point of like ash and whatnot, and it's
Right.
just
Yeah,
it's a nice texture contrast.
it does look great. Yeah, you're right. And it's even creepier.
Oh yeah, tar
Have it with tar.
seems much more just gloopy.
Yeah, it is absolutely wild. But no, fantastic looking model there, Josh. I think did a great job. The black armor, the gold trim. I mean, you did a super simple palette. It's red, gold, and black, really. And you've done a great job with it. Very nice. Oh, Drew has done a Clone Troopers tutorial. So if you want to head to One Inch Heroes page, Facebook page, you'll be able to check out how he's done his. Did you do a tutorial for all of them, Drew, or just for the 501st? Not sure. I'll have to go and check it out.
I think just for the 501st.
Just the 501st? Cool. But yeah, definitely go and take a look at that. Nice work, Drew. Oh, wow.
That's fun.
That's wild. So this is Venom from Marvel Crisis Protocol that we painted a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. We didn't paint Venom though.
Didn't paint Venom though, no, you're right. But this is wild, and painted with some UV paints. Check out those fluorescing.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was wild. Nice work, Chris. Looking good. Oh, Jason's been painting a 3D printed ogre. So, I wonder who. It's a cool sculpt. I like that kind of feel. It's got a bit of an Asian feel to it.
Yeah.
Kind of, I guess, kind of an Oni kind of look in that face with the. Doesn't have the big orc jaw. The jaw's smaller, but it still has those tusks, which look really cool. And the necklace, the red and the gold on the necklace, give it that feel to it. But yeah, looking good. Nice work. Oh, Carl has finished up. So many fiddly details. Yes, that model has a lot of fiddly details. But I love it. I love
Good job picking out all the little tiny things, though.
All the things,
all
yeah.
the fiddly details.
All the fiddly
Yeah.
details. Yep. I think the that jar or the like the bottle on her hip looks great. The like the clay
Yeah.
earthenware jar. It looks like a clay jar. Nice. Yeah. Great work there, Carl. I like the juxtaposition with the hair color. Isn't that sort of bright yellow against the darker tones? Looks awesome. Nice work. And Robert, oh, Giant Cthulhu from Bones 1.
That's not a mini.
It's also not giant. The one from Death May Die is way bigger.
Oh my god.
It's like this tall. It's huge. But I'm excited to see what you do with this. He's also got the tiny Cthulhu down in the bottom left.
Baby Cthulhu.
Definitely good. One of the things, if you go back through the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook community page, you'll see a lot of posts from Robert and a lot of work on his Fallout stuff, Fallout minis. And I think it's not next week, but the week after is we're going to be painting some minis from Fallout Wasteland Warfare.
Yes.
Yep, from Modifius. So definitely be back to check those out. But looking cool, Rob. Very nice. Last one. Chris's first attempt at a blood angel.
And a very good attempt that is.
Success.
I'd say even better than an attempt. Oh, well,
An attempt.
you got there before me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Success! Win! No, definitely good there, Chris. I think I agree with Gretchen. You have been successful. That looks cool. Yeah, the red's working nice and solid and bright. You've got those edge highlights going on, which is super important for marine armor, space marine armor. And I think just the right amount of sort of the black and silver to complement it all.
Definitely.
Looking good. Very nice. Very nice. Good one. Okay, so all of those minis that we've just seen, plus the ones that we saw earlier in the show, are from the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook page. If you are a member, please go and post photos of things that you're working on, things that you've just finished, so that we can all look at them and applaud.
If you are not a member, become one.
Become a member.
Yeah.
Join our group. So I think we've had another good run of folks joining over the last week.
Yeah.
Cool. We're on our way. We're on a drive to get to 2,000. I don't know when we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll have another prize giveaway when we get to 2,000.
We will.
Yep.
Yes, we will.
Excellent. Excited for that. Should be definitely cool. But yeah, thank you everybody for posting your minis. And if yours weren't shown this week, post some more and we'll hopefully see them next week. You're definitely good.
I am
Somebody said in the Facebook chat that
so close.
the Asimar is fun. Fun to paint, or that particular one was fun to look at?
That
Why
one
not
was
both?
fun
It's probably
to
a little
look
both.
at.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was fun to look at.
Fun to look at and fun to paint. Leona, you would enjoy it. Just telling you.
Okay. I'll gotta get an ASMR then.
Cool. Now I can jump back into, I'm not sure if I'll get this strike green finished. So I might just concentrate on this guy. Focus on him.
I'm cruising. I'm cruising.
You cruising?
Yeah, I'm
You gonna be,
cruising. I got some stripes going on the side. Here we go. I tilt that way.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Cool.
I see
So
him.
yeah,
Cool,
getting
cool.
the stripes there.
What color?
I am using, what is it? Cayman green, which is a little bit darker, more olivey of a green. And there we go. You can see some of that. Getting that Jurassic Park vibe. And those stripes are going to go all the way along the body. And I'll decide if I want them really on the wings or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit too much, but we'll find out.
Yeah. That'll be fine.
But yeah, get those tiger stripes all the way going around, and then I'll start on the big detail works. And the last thing I'll do is add that brown that kind of blends everything together on the edge.
That'll be good. I think the, yeah, once you get that brown in,
It'll kind of make all the edges feel a little bit more organic.
it'll tie it, yeah. Tie it together well. Don't want to knock this guy off. I'm just going to move him from the spinner. So I've got armor plates, I've got leather work, I've got loincloth, and I've got weapons. What should I do? Do you think I should do some metal armor?
Weapons.
Yeah.
What's that, Leona? Buttons?
Paint the weapons.
Weapons. I should paint the weapons first?
Yes.
Okay. Because he needs to look intimidating?
Yes.
Rather than dressed?
Correct.
Okay. I can do that. Although part of me is thinking that because the weapons are the furthest out, I should start with the things on the inside first. But also because I might just, what I might do is actually go along and paint everything else black first. So I can tidy everything up. There's quite a few areas where the red leather and the orange fire have spilled out over onto those pieces. So by getting those done, getting back and doing that tidying up, I can get a good sense of everything else. And also that the red leather and the fire orange sort of act well as a kind of a mid-tone. So I know that I can come back in with some silver, maybe some brighter silver on the shoulder pads. I can go for the dark weapon haft and dark leather straps and so on.
I can feel that. Sounds like a good plan.
Yep. There we go. It is definitely a stage that I put in almost all of my painting. Is that correction kind of stage?
Oh, yeah.
You go back and just tidy up different areas. And it can just sort of doing it at this point, once you've got the main color down, because I'm not used to painting orange insect. Anthropomorphized?
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic.
Now it's my turn to be able to pronounce it.
We have just enough between us to be able to do it once.
You have to recharge
Just recharge now.
for like 10, 15 minutes.
Exactly. I'm going to plug back in. But yeah, to get these, everything else sort of settled in there and get a good idea of what to do next. Which I think is cool. There we go. I'm trying to get it in the right spot on the camera as well. So I know you've done that, taken that approach with the stripes, putting the sort of those very natural kind of feeling stripes on there. You've done that with a few other dragons that are painted, or lizard kind.
I've done
type
it with
things.
a lizard before, for sure. I don't know if I've ever done it with a dragon, but I've definitely done it with a lizard because it's the kind of the Jurassic Park trademark with a lot of their toys, is they have a lot of organic striping, and then they'll choose one very contrasty color and
Right.
just push it through.
Okay, like orange stripes on
Like
green.
orange stripes on green, or
Right.
something like that. Yeah.
Cool.
I like it. I think it's a nice little shout out to nature, because a lot of times you'll see that in nature with reptiles or birds or
Amphibians.
yeah.
Sometimes amphibians.
It's a fun way to be able to have nice, interesting colors without it being completely out of the blue.
Right.
I think.
Definitely. There we go. Okay.
Just do a little bit of dry brushing. Pull it through here without actually striping it up on the wings.
I think, I don't know what I was going to say. Now, the toughest part is with these tchotchkes, now that we know what they're called. Thank you. Well, that's what the chat said.
Yeah, that's what the chat said. Who are we to disagree with them?
I totally believe the chat. On almost everything. But the way that they're being gripped is sort of against the side of the body. So I can't really see where the fingers are going. So I'm just going to have to guess a little bit. Not obviously that you can't really see in here behind there too well, but. And also they're insectoid hands. It's like, insects don't have hands.
They do now.
What do they? Did you look it up?
Yep.
Does making them anthropomorphized make them lose their insect status?
I'm not sure. I guess it depends on what.
Well, because
what's the definition of the status?
An insect is a creature that has an exoskeleton,
Check.
6 legs,
Check.
and what is it, like a thorax?
Check. I'd say it's still an insect.
And 2 segments, 2 body segments, though. Does it still?
I think it's still an insect
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say still an insect.
because
I'm
there's
going to
nothing
ask my friend who's an insect specialist.
it's a bipedal. It is a bipedal, but that's the only thing that makes it not insecty.
Yeah. Well,
Everything else about it.
In the insect definition, it like just has to have 6 limbs.
Correct.
It doesn't. I'm not sure.
Did you look it up, Leona?
Well,
makes
the
an-
definition, no, not
Oh.
what makes an insect an insect.
I was
The
going to say that.
thri-crane, though, they call it a praying mantis. So
Right.
it's not like it's a creature. They just call it an insect.
Right. Well. Okay. So I just painted in some of the, so I can tie it in with the paints I already have on my palette and the cool brass dragon, which is flying by. Did you just freeze it? That? No.
It was too much.
It accidentally froze.
Yeah, it was too much. It was too cool.
Accidentally. But here we go. It's going to fly by again. But so that I can use the paints that are already on the palette. And because it has a similar palette itself, the orange / bronze, brass, copper, and these greens. Just going to use the German uniform as a base color for those eyes, and then the United States Marine Corps tank crew green
That's
for
very
the highlight.
patriotic.
Yep. That's what these tri-creen are. Patriotic all the way. So
Okay,
it
and
does,
now I
however, look
have
like the weapon blades aren't
that.
necessarily silver.
Just barely done. Pull that back up and
Okay. I think I kind of like that black as on the shoulders. So I might go for a bit of a, there we go. So we've got some chainmail silver, and there we go. Some gunmetal is the darkest of the silvers in the game color range. So put a little bit of that out and make these shoulder pads kind of like a really dark iron kind of look. There we go. How are things going?
They're going.
How are folks in the chat?
Folks in the chat are not talking.
Not talking? That's terrible. Terrible. I have to admit, I got here a lot earlier than I usually do. So we had all of our conversations before the show.
We did. We're like, oh, hey, what's up with you? That's everything. Okay.
Here we go.
No, I'm actually going to paint his eyes real quick, and then I'm going to go into the underside of those wings to get those details.
What color are you going to do the eyes?
Well, it says that they are that yellow color.
Yeah.
So I got that little bit of yellow color, and there's a little bit of red up in that crest as well.
Right.
And the inside of his mouth is pink, but I'm not too worried about that right now. I'd rather get done everything else.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dark green is not such a strange color for the inside of a dinosaur dragon.
Dinosaur dragon mouth?
Yeah. So, get those.
Timothy Moore says everyone went to work.
They went to work.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
True. You didn't though, Timothy. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, so for the shoulder pads here, the pauldrons, I guess, would be the correct armor term. I just mixed some of the game color gunmetal in with black.
Uh-huh.
Give it that sort of deeper kind of look.
I have managed to make the eyes happen without making the eyes super blobby.
Hooray.
They could probably be
That's
larger,
cool.
but I'm not going to press my luck.
Good idea. But that's cool. I'm going to start with the darker metallic as well. One of the things I love about the Vallejo paints is obviously that they all do a good job of blending or mixing with each other. Surprise, surprise. But it is nice that you can come in and tone down colors by mixing in a little bit of black or a little bit of gray. Also use some gray to knock any intensity out of a model, not out of a model, out of a color. There we go. And thankfully, when I dropped that model just then, it didn't land in any wet paint. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'll take that as a win. And just taking a second look at the mini on the card here. Those weapon ends are silver. So I can get all that done and out of the way quickly. And now the final question is going to be, do I leave the haft of the weapon black, as if it's painted black, and paint the sort of the harness that's holding those shoulder pads on, the pauldrons on, paint those with a brown, like a brown leather, or do I do it the other way around? Leave them black and paint the weapon haft brown.
I kind of like the weapon black because I feel like it pops against the skin more.
All right. So you think I should do a harness in brown?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Will do. Okay. So I've got some chainmail in there, but I'm going to go back to the silver, which is the first one. So for the game color range, there are, where is it? There we go. Yep. So these are the three silvers in the game color range. That bright silver there, the chainmail silver, and the gunmetal. So you can definitely see the difference in the tones on those. So, cool. So get a little bit of the silver out. and paint the edges of these weapons, particularly the chakras under here. Give them that bright, sort of sharp bladed finish. And come around this side. Has anybody in the chat actually faced a Thrycreen in role-playing combat?
That's a good question.
I think they'd be terrifying. Because I mean, like, that's probably human height
Yeah.
in this range. I mean, let me see. What were these gnomes?
Those
or?
are dwarves.
Dwarf, okay. So you see a dwarf model. So it dwarfs a dwarf model. But look at the legs.
Those legs are powerful.
Yeah. It could stand up a lot straighter.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like this tall. Oh, this tall. So I think they'd be absolutely fearsome. A little bit of highlight there. One of the things I like about this, the blade on this end, is it has those serrations on it. So it's sort of even nastier looking. Super dangerous. And of course I just realized I hadn't painted the back. As you do.
That's great. I'm down to the speed run wire if I want to get any of that purple in. I'm like, this isn't perfect, but
Right.
it'll do.
So you still thinking about putting like a wash over it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Kind of bring it all together and tone it down a little bit.
Yep.
Someone in the chat said, yes, I used to run Dark Sun games.
Oh, they're also a player
so
race?
they are player race.
Oh. What are their strengths? What are the main reason you might want to play a Thrycreen as a...
Strength, the skeleton.
The exoskeleton.
The exoskeleton? Excellent. How about weakness? I'm going to say hive mentality.
Extinction. Oh, hive mentality. That works. There's a race in Pathfinder Starfinder. That's very similar.
Right.
Apparently they need no sleep. And they chase you forever.
Okay.
They only live about 13 years, though.
Okay. So if you have to run from one for 13 years, that would be crazy. And we thought humans were the ultimate stamina predator. Oh, there we go.
Do-do-do-do.
So for the, thanks for that. I think that's cool. I know that not a lot of role players sort of would get through 13 years of
running away.
sort of a character. Well, not necessarily just running away, but like have a character's life.
True.
But for those folks out there who have been playing for decades, it's pretty cool. It'd have to be like a very important decision as to whether you're going to play a Thrycreen or not in a long-running campaign. And just imagine it. It's like, okay, coming close to the end of your life. Well, how about if I just take a nap? Is that going to extend it by 6 months?
I like the idea of an older character, though. That would be funny.
Right.
Like, I've been adventuring for like.
You think maybe starting? How about starting a character at like age 60?
I had an older character that I had. She was a little hobbit.
Right.
And she was older, and she had her family was from they were famous for a brewery,
Okay.
but she had locked herself in, like, she was a cleric, so she had gone off and become like a nun
Right.
because she didn't agree with the hobbit lifestyle, and then she got wrapped up in a crazy adventure where everyone was like, "Oh, you're a hobbit. You party. That's what you do." And she's always like, "No, I am not."
Right. That's just hurtful stereotypes.
Pretty much.
Did she say that?
Pretty much.
Okay. That was mentioned at some point.
At some point.
Cool.
And then they're like, "But your family owns the biggest brewery in the kingdom."
And you're like, I know. And they'll all burn in hell for it.
More or less. Let's see.
There we go. So that's done there. And now just his loincloth.
Yeah, how are we on time?
Oh, we have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. All right, let's get
Oh my God.
this wash over, because I think I should do that instead of the what's a good wash? Instead of the brown.
Oh, we have the skin wash.
That looks like it'd
Let's
be
go with
good
that.
without taking away too much of the.
Yep.
And all
That's
the
got some
colours.
yellow in it, so it should still work.
Let me
You
get
complement
a
it
nice
well.
Bigger brush for this.
2-minute challenge.
Ah.
Shake, shake, shake. I think I'm actually going to go with, to tie it in with your model, I'm going to use some of this, the uniform green here. So it's a little bit different to the 2 greens I used earlier. A lot brighter and that sort of an olivey tinge to it. Grab some of that, mix in the olive. Paint the base coat. I think it's going to be interesting. He's going to have that gloss kind of finish to it.
A little bit. It's fine.
Yep. And there we go.
You're doing a beautiful job, Gretchen.
Speed.
Yep. Speed. You can do it. Fly like the wind, bullseye. Okay. Because I had that super easy young copper dragon, I was able to put that on the spinner. Young copper dragon. I was also able to finish this thrycreen. And when I say super easy, it's because I didn't have a lot of colors that I needed to use for it. Got to do some dry brushing. There we go. I think this guy will be done. I wonder if I can have him riding the dragon. You can stand up there. No? Okay. Oh, okay. We'll get it right in a second. Okay. So looking at him on the spinner, he doesn't have a lot of depth on the orange. So I think the last thing I'd do would go back and put a brown wash over that. And brown tinged with a little bit of green.
Yeah.
Would be interesting. give him a bit more of a boiled crustacean kind of look.
Try and make this uniform.
The other thing as well is if you do go through and do some verdigris and it comes out like that, and you look at it again and you think, nah, it's maybe a little bit over the top, you can go back and hit that with a darker brown wash and tone that verdigris back. And yeah. Okay, are we almost there?
Yep.
Almost there?
All right.
Excellent.
Good enough. It's going to have to be good enough.
Let's
I
get rid of
swap
this
him
guy.
out. He's still wet, so he's a little shinier and a little less, he'll dry a little less brown.
Yep. How's that fit in? Is it fitting in?
It was on here. I just have to find the right name. There we go. There's the angle of dragon. Ooh.
Ooh.
So I feel like that's a lot brighter on the camera than it is in real life.
Yeah.
on the camera on screen it looks like lime green and I'm like, oh, that looks really messy. But I assure you it's not. Yeah, so it's not nearly so messy once it dries. Dave's like, let me help him dry. But yeah, I feel like once I would be able to go back in, especially with where's the brown? What brown was it? It was not skin wash. It was a dark brown.
Oh, the charred brown?
Yeah, the charred brown.
Yep.
And went back in there along all of the edges. I feel like it would.
You mean down the
Yeah, down there.
Down the finger bones, basically.
Here, I'll show you. I'll pull up my. So if you pull this guy up here, ooh, that's really close.
Too close.
So you can see along all the edges there.
All right. Yep.
And kind of blending everything together nicely. Yeah. So that it just pulls everything.
Yep. Excellent.
But for a work in progress and slapping on a quick wash. I'll take that as that was a very challenging paint job for 2 hours.
Yeah, almost. No, you did a great job. You did a great job. Very nice.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'll take a minute or two to kind of
touch it up a little bit.
Yeah, touch it up a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
And then it'll go on the shelf with everything else that's almost done.
Nice. Cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us for our first Vallejo sponsored thing. Where's the?
Ta-da! Waiting for it. It's gonna happen.
Nope.
No. Okay then. Never mind. Vallejo.
So yeah, we had a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, Vallejo and WizKids.
Yep. Definitely cool.
Sponsored.
Keep an eye out for that. We'll have an episode every month.
Yeah.
Possibly more.
Make sure you join our Facebook page to help us reach that 2,000 mark so we can do another giveaway.
Yep.
And
another big giveaway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Painting Happy Lil Minis
Yep.
Facebook group.
I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Dave.
And we'll see you at your friendly local game store.
Thanks for watching Painting Happy Little Minis. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content.